Okay, friends, welcome. So glad that everybody's here with us tonight. I know it's a busy time of the year because it's time for kids to get back to school. It's time for teachers to get back into the school system and everyone else that works there. So, we're going to just chat this evening about some things that we can do. And of course, these things are applicable all year long. It's not just at school time, but just a good reminder. And I wonder if we have anybody on here who is a guest. I'd love to know that. I'm not won't call you out or anything. I just am curious if we've got anybody on here that is a guest. If you are, will you just maybe unmute yourself and say that. Otherwise, I'm going to assume till someone does that everybody on here is already using Young Living. So let's see if I can get mine. So as we get back into the swing of school, like normally over the summer, we tend to get out of the habit of doing a lot of the things that we do because we're a little more lax and maybe we're on vacation and people are visiting and all the things. So I want to just start out with just a few quick and easy healthy habits, some tips that things that we can do just to ensure that everybody is healthier. And the first one is to just serve and eat more raw fruits and veggies. Get outside and play, like literally get outside, and if you can walk and your kiddos can walk in the grass barefoot, that's great because it's wonderful for grounding. That's an easy thing to do, especially when they're, getting a little hyper and bored and restless and all those kinds of things. So that's a good thing. I do want to say though, if the grass is sprayed with weed killers and got a lot of fertilizer and things on it, I would not walk barefoot in it because it's just so dangerous. All the chemicals that we get now, and you guys, I'm sure know what I'm talking about. And even for our furry friends, it's not a good thing. Getting enough sleep, limiting not just processed sugars, but literally everything processed, but really watching the sugar. Sugar is like a neurotoxin to us, so it is so bad. And just make sure that we're getting some good quality vitamins, minerals, pre and probiotics daily. That makes just such a huge difference for our kiddos and how well their brain functions. Sometimes we forget about that makes a huge difference. So I want to just for a couple of minutes talk about why Young Living. Why is it that we why do we trust Young Living? Why do we recommend Young Living? So if you're not familiar yet with Young Living, this is really important. If you are, it's just a good reminder to us because sometimes we forget how fortunate we are, right? It's like I equate it to we don't sometimes we're not grateful for things until we don't have them anymore. So what makes Young Living different than everybody else really is their seed to seal process. And we literally are not going to find that promise anywhere else. Like no one has it. It's expensive to do, it's time consuming to do, and nobody wants to do it for those reasons. But it gives you and I peace of mind because we know when the products arrive at our home that they are seed to seal promised, guaranteed. We've got that peace of mind. Because we're looking at plant material that's grown on corporately owned farms or the farms that are carefully vetted partner farms. And we can visit them, you guys. Literally, they're not trying to hide anything. They invite us to come. They want us to see them. And you can go onto Young Living's website and go under farms. And there is an area where you can actually schedule a visit at a farm. And I encourage you to do that if you're ever in an area anywhere where they are. And literally, there are farms around the world. Sustainable farming and sourcing practices so that they can provide the purest oils to us. We had the pleasure of being on a Zoom on Monday evening with one of the farm managers from Young Living and talking about regenerative farming. It was so amazing the things that they do, how they go above and beyond. It was just really informative, very extremely informative. So they take great care to preserve and protect natural resources, and that is so much that he spoke about in the regenerative farming practices that they have in place and how they don't waste anything. They always want to give back more than they take from the land. They hand weed fields. Sometimes they use some other animals so that they eat the weeds, but there is zero use of pesticides, fertilizers, that kind of thing. Anything that is not natural. There's nothing synthetic ever introduced to the soil or to the plant. And so the oils retain all their natural constituents and therapeutic properties because of that reason. They use food grade distilleries with state of the art designs and distillation methods. And Gary Young actually built over the years the distilleries and patented them. And they are made of, the inside of them is all stainless steel, which is again extremely expensive. But he knew that that was the only material he could use that would not leach any type of chemicals, heavy metals, anything like that. Low pressure, low temperature distillation without the use of any types of solvents or synthetic chemicals. Again, it's a slow process. It's much slower process. There are very few people out there distilling their own oils these days, but those that do not use those practices. They use solvents, they use synthetic chemicals, they use high pressure, they use a lot of heat because they want it in and out done very quickly. And when they do that, of course, they adulterate it, they lose the chemical constituents and the power of the plant. There's a rigorous testing done on everything multiple times. I think there's 17 or 18 different tests now, at least 17 that they do on everything. They can be carefully reviewed through every step of production in order to meet and exceed industry safety and purity standards. So a lot of times people say, are they organic? And I'm like, they're beyond organic. And honestly, organic does not mean what it used to mean. So tonight we're going to talk about using oils with kids. And so we're going to really dive into a few things. One thing that I just want to say is, of course, our children are our precious babes, and we want to only do what's best for them, right? We always just want to do what's best for them. And there are a lot of schools of thought out there on how essential oils should be used for children. So I'm just going to ask you to do yourself a favor and not go looking online for advice on this topic. Get into legit reference materials, reference guides, things like that, and partner with people that have a true experience in the use of oils, especially, with children and things. Don't rely on, Dr. Google and that kind of thing, because honestly, you'll just scare yourself into not using them because there's so much crazy things out there. And remember, all oils are not created equally. So unfortunately, today, anything that's made in a lab that's synthetic a label can be slapped on it and it can say it's an essential oil and not have one drop of anything from a plant in it, as compared to Young Living with their seed to seal process. So there's nothing to distinguish between the two when we're reading things online and people are sharing things that happen, and horrible things do happen when you use other, I'm going to use the term essential oil very loosely here, but people, we don't know what we don't know. So let's just take into consideration a few simple things when we're using them with our kiddos. So when in doubt, we want to dilute. And that's an easy thing to do. And we can always do that. And there's no reason not to do it. There's no reason that we can't do it or shouldn't do it. So, that means that we're using a fatty oil with our essential oils. So something like coconut oil or almond oil or avocado oil, jojoba, those types of things. Young Living makes a beautiful blend. It's a V6 oil with some great oils in it. But you can mix your essential oil with that carrier, and it will kind of slow down how quick the oils go into the body, and it will spread them out a little bit more. And even remember, if we get an oil on an area of the body or on one of our kiddos that's a sensitive area, um, and it gets warm or the skin gets red, those things can happen. It's not harmful, but it can be uncomfortable. So just take your carrier oil and put it right over the top of it. If I put it on my neck and my neck was warm because maybe I put oregano on my neck, well, of course that's going to warm my neck up. Oregano is a hot oil. I could just put some V6 or coconut oil over it, and within about 2 minutes, that'll just settle down. Again, it's not harmful to me, but it can be uncomfortable to me, and no one needs to be uncomfortable. But so we can always use a carrier and dilute the oils. Now, there are some oils that are hot, and we want to be aware of those oils for ourselves and especially for our little ones. So things like cinnamon, clove, lemongrass, oregano, thyme, thieves. Some people even find that peppermint, with that hot, cold, effect that it gives, to be a little bit too intensive, especially somebody that's newer. So again, you can dilute those oils, and I would dilute those oils, and I would do so heavier than I might some of the others. I also would use oils like that when I'm putting them on my children. We used oils on, we didn't have them when our children were little, but have used oils on all of our grandchildren. And we would just use, if we used thieves or we used clove or something that was warm on the bottom of their feet or on their spine, we just put oil on first. Um, Usually, if we were dropping oils, which we love to drop oils on the spine, we would just put a layer of V6 on their spine. We would just apply that up and down the spine, and then we would drop a couple of drops of oil on. But you could definitely mix them together before you do that. Either way is fine. But the bottom of the feet and the spine are great places to put oils, where typically we don't, there's not a problem. Now make sure you, as the mom or the grandma or the auntie or the dad or whoever's putting those oils on, then once you have put them on, wash your hands really good. Okay, because you don't want something hot like oregano to be for you to touch your eye, or the kids, in a delicate area, changing a diaper or something, and you still have some of that oil on your hands. Another thing that we can really easily do is diffuse. So we can just start with the diffuser for the kiddos um, in their room. You can use, only 2 or 3 drops of oil in your diffuser if you want at first, especially if it's a smaller area. But just work your way up. You start kind of slow and work your way up. We can always add more to it, right, if we need to. But diffusing is just a great way to use oils with the kiddos. Young Living has created a kids sense line that are pre-diluted oils. So it's just easy peasy. Mom can toss them, or dad or grandma or whoever can toss them in a diaper bag, um, and carry them with him for little ones. And they've already got oil in them, so they're already pre-diluted. And same thing, there's an entire seedlings line that is created for the little bitty ones. But again, don't let the rules overwhelm you with oils. Let them do their job. Use a little bit of common sense, and you're going to be absolutely fine. I suggest letting the kids smell the oils and let them choose their own, especially the older they get. But even when my grandkids were like 3 years old, they would come to the house and pick oils out of my big, kit. I would have like the 120 oils in the big kit, and they would just come pick it out. And one of them would usually get 4 or 5, and the other might get 12, literally. But those oils went on their feet. They'd stick those little bare feet up, and they'd be ready for oils to go on. So just kind of let them choose what they want. They'll get some favorites. And remember that oils are not designed as a one-time use product. So sometimes I hear moms say, oh, well, I put some thieves on my kiddo, but they still don't feel great. Or they still, they picked up something at school. But it's a matter of using them consistently, every day, to be proactive. And then if we are kind of catching up, playing catch up and bringing ourselves back, into a state of wellness, then we need to use things more often. And honestly, that goes with pretty much everything we do. So just remember that. One of the things that I learned when I was in school studying the body was that anytime our body is sick with pretty much anything, it could be a cold, it could be flu, it could be anything like that, it takes the body 3 months to really recover from that. And that's if we are doing, if we're nutrient sufficient and things like that. So just even though we may not have symptoms, the body still may not have been fully recovered by that time. So just remember that when we're using oils. So it's really, really important to be consistent, to get into daily routines of things. Especially, this is a perfect time to create some good, healthy habits as we're returning to school. And that's whether we're sending our children off to school or whether we're homeschooling. The same thing, right? We still want to do a lot of the same things. So one of the biggest things is to have your oils out and available, have them visible so you remember to use them, but have them handy. So, the ones that you use first thing in the morning, maybe you have them in a bathroom where you're brushing your teeth and that kind of thing. Maybe they're on a nightstand. Depends on certainly on the age of the child, but have them out somewhere where they're available. Have them on the kitchen counter, whatever that looks like for you, so that you can see them. Label them, get them organized, group them in similar colors, organize them alphabetically. That's honestly the way I like to do it. And I love putting the little labels on the top of my bottles of oil. I don't know if you can see in the corner there, but like I've got this bottle of oil and I've got a label on it on the top. That makes it so easy when they're sitting in a drawer or in a bag to be able to see what oil it is, and you're not pulling every bottle of oil out and taking a long time to figure out, to find the one that you want to use. Let the kids make up their own bags. By the time they're 4 or 5 years old, get them a little oil bag of some sort or a little container and let them choose, several of their favorite oils so that they take ownership of that. um, and let them, they can learn to put oils on the bottom of their feet, especially if we put a roller top on them. And that's a really easy thing to do. We can literally take any bottle of oil, and Young Living sells Aroma Glide fitments, and we can pop that roller top on the bottom, the top of a bottle of oil, and turn any bottle into a roller. And of course, they also come in rollers. A lot of them do already, but they're really easy. The rollers are really easy to put in a backpack, a purse, pockets, diaper bags, wherever, whatever you're doing. And again, pair the oils with activities. So, you might sit your roller that you want to roll, thieves roller on the bottom of your feet before you go to bed. And when you get up in the morning, before you get dressed, put it by your toothbrush, and that will remind you to roll it on real quick. Have a bottle, of oil, and I love taking empty bottles of Ningxia Red, filling them with water, and setting them beside my diffusers because they're sealed, the lid's on, they can't be spilled. Um, and then they're by my diffusers wherever I have a diffuser. So that's easy, and you don't have to run back and forth to the bathroom or the kitchen to fill up your diffuser. Which if we have to do that, sometimes we're much less likely to do it. So set rollers, sprays, things like that, maybe near your back door if you've got a mud room that you come into, and maybe that's where backpacks stay and shoes stay. Maybe, thieves spray goes there. Maybe your peace and calming goes there. Whatever it is, have it there, have them ready to go. Um, we really want our homes to be healthy, happy. We want the classroom to be that way also. So, our home is really our place of safety and refuge, right? So, unfortunately, the majority of the products that are available for sale to us, um, can endanger that, can bring us away from that, because we're marketed to continually and led to believe that even the things that say all natural, they're safe for families and all the different things, in reality they aren't. It's called greenwashing. They use the right colors, they use the right words, but you really have to be a savvy consumer and turn over the bottles, read through the ingredients on the labels, so that you know. um, there are so many things that contain stuff like formaldehydes, parabens, phthalates, triclosan, and and unfortunately synthetic fragrances in almost everything. So literally the word fragrance can appear on a label and contain an enormous list of ingredients, like in one multiple ingredients in this one fragrance, and the company's not required to disclose it because it's considered a trade secret. So that means that our products can contain some really awful ingredients, and consumers are not even allowed to know that. So really be cautious, be a savvy consumer. Um, one of the things I'm so grateful for is I know when I order a Young Living product into my home, I know that I don't have to worry about that. None of those kinds of things are going to happen. So let's just break that down for just a minute. Um, Thieves Household Cleaner is absolutely phenomenal. And literally, it's so concentrated that a cap full in like a 16 or 24 ounce bottle makes a really powerful cleaner that can be used literally in every room of the house. It can be used to clean lunch boxes, backpacks, coats, sprayed on gloves. We sprayed bottoms of shoes, all the stuff, right? And then clean, and then we can use it to clean everywhere. Thankfully, some teachers are able to use it in their classroom. So they're able to spray down your child's desk and chair with something that isn't chemical laden. And it's so cost effective. It's about $1 a bottle. So we can't, we really, there's nothing I know of that we can buy um, for that kind of money, and especially that's safe for our kids and our fur babies and on all the things. So that's something that's great to use. And a lot of moms I know bring a concentrated bottle into the school, along with just a spray bottle that they bought at the dollar store. They show the teachers how to use it and ask them if they would please use that in their classroom if they're allowed to. And almost all of them that are allowed to do so use it. And the mom's grateful to be able to give them a bottle of Thieves Cleaner that will last them a really long time. Thieves Laundry Soap. So why are we talking about that when we're talking about, back to school and things? Well, the reality is there are so many children that have allergic reactions to laundry detergents, laundry soaps. That is a really big deal. And that is a continual pull on the immune system. And sometimes it's hard to identify that that's actually happening to our child. And it's just a slow pull, slow, consistent pull on the immune system. So the really cool thing about this laundry detergent is it's plant-based. So there are no chemicals, no synthetics, no residue. And think about this. We're in our clothes or in our bed touching, our body is touching things 24/7 that have been washed in our laundry detergent, our laundry soap. So this little 32-ounce bottle is extremely concentrated. It's actually ultra concentrated. You can get, the label says 64 loads with one bottle, but I'm going to tell you something. I have three 32-ounce bottles that I take and divide a third of my laundry detergent into each one. Personally, I add a capful of the Thieves household cleaner and I add about 40 drops to each bottle of Digest because it's so good to break things down and, smells and grease and all that kind of stuff. And then I fill it with water. That literally will last a very long time, and it is more cost effective than anything that you will find at a store, I promise you. And you just don't have to worry about it. And then, of course, there's the whole kids sense line. So there's shampoo and lotion and bath gel, toothpaste, all the things for your little ones. You're never going to have to worry about mineral oils, synthetic perfumes, artificial colorings, toxic ingredients, none of that. It's oil infused goodness for your little ones. Um, and before we move on from that, I want to just encourage you to ditch any of the toxic air fresheners you might be using, whether they're plug-ins, whether they're sprays, whether they're those little tubes that of some kind of solid something, you pull the little tube up and you set it there and it, kind of dissipates over time. Candles, all of those things are toxic. So get a diffuser. And if you see there at the bottom of the screen is Feather the Owl, and Feather the Owl is free this month with a 300 PV order, you guys. It is free. They're giving, Young Living is giving that diffuser to us free. It is the cutest thing. I have one upstairs in my hallway. I absolutely love that diffuser. It's great, and the kids all love it, and it's something that they can have right in their room. They learn to use it. They're going to love, love, love. Um, Diffusing. Let's talk a minute about daily wellness. Another, talking about consistency and forming good habits. So Thieves Roll On is amazing. If you're probably, I think everybody on here tonight is familiar with it, but in case you're not, legend says that in France during the 15th century, the thieves were going about and they were robbing and pillaging the dead and the dying. And according to history, they protected themselves by creating a special aromatic combination of herbs of clove, rosemary, cinnamon, eucalyptus, lemon, those particular things that was keeping them from getting sick. Eventually they were caught, and that's how, we came to find out all of this. And it's actually, this really did happen. This really is a true story. And when Gary began to read about that and study on it, he thought, gee, if that worked back then during those times when all kinds of diseases were rampant, wonder how it would work today for us to help keep us healthy. And he went to the lab and created Thieves for us, and the rest is history. So Thieves in a roller is really easy, to put on the bottom of feet. Great way to just help to build the immune system. Super C, we've got a vitamin C that's chewable and also a tablet. So depending on where your child is, what the age is, and what their capability of swallowing tablets or pills is, they can do the chewable or they can do the tablet. But both of them are really amazing, powerful antioxidants and great to keep the immune system up, great for circulatory health, to strengthen connective tissue, promote overall health, promote longevity and vitality. Those are all things that vitamin C is known to do. So it's just an easy button for keeping our immune system strong. Then we have super vitamin D. We probably have all heard a lot about vitamin D by now, but vitamin D is great again for the immune system. It's really good to support bone health. So we're talking about growing children here, right? Healthy muscles, also a big part of growing. Mood and hormone regulation, especially as they get a little bit older, get toward, become tweens and that type of thing. But it's a huge support for respiratory health. It has innate and adaptive defense mechanisms. So it's amazing for our immune system. Now, this vitamin D is a melt away. So literally you can just put it in your mouth and it'll melt. It's just a berry flavor. It tastes good. If you want to chew it, you totally could. It's vegan friendly, completely synthetic free, and it's a highly absorbable form of vitamin D. Not all vitamin D that we are able to purchase is highly absorbable, but this one thankfully is. And just remember that oils can play a really big part in supporting our bodies if we use them regularly. So whether we're applying them topically, whether we're diffusing them like in Feather the Owl, in the mornings, at bedtime, we come home from school, all those things, sending the rollers if they, if they're able to use them at school, putting a roller in their backpack, in their lunchbox, things like that. Also diffuser bracelets, fidget spinners, diffuser necklaces, all these kinds of things could be ways to get oils onto your kiddos so that they could have them throughout the day. Also, I don't know if you guys how well you can see, but these I love. These are really, really nice. They're aroma inhalers, and you can grab these online. But literally, do you guys remember how we used to have the, trying to find the whole part of it. We used to have like the Vicks nasal inhalers. So this is a wick, a cotton wick that you can put any oil on. So let's say we wanted to put RC on it, as we go back into the school year. So we put some RC on it. We just drop that right into this little inhaler. And I don't know where the bottom is right now, but there is just a little bottom part that goes on, clicks on, and there we go. And the end of it is open. And so they literally can smell it, or they can literally stick it, up the nostril just a little bit, but just holding it in front of the nose. And often they can use things like this at school. So you just have to check with your school and see. Some of us ask forgiveness instead of permission. You can put oils in veggie capsules. You can put them in their drinks. You can put them in smoothies. You can add them to food. There's so many ways to get oils into the kids every single day. You just have to sometimes be a little creative with that. Morning time is really, really important. According to kidshealth.org, if they say that they have an article on there that talks about skipping breakfast and how tired children feel, they're restless, they're irritable. their bodies need to refuel. They haven't eaten all night and their body needs fuel in order for their brain to function. So they've already gone, 8 to 12 hours without food, and to send them off to school with something sweet like a honey bun, or to not send them to school, off to start their school day without anything is really not a good thing. So their mood will drop, their energy will drop, um, and they just won't have the ability to focus. The thing is, our brain needs protein. Our brain needs the protein to focus, and the body needs protein for every function. And we need protein in the mornings because it helps stabilize our blood sugar. And even for the kids, that is a very important thing. So getting some good healthy fats in and good proteins in the morning is great. So think about things that do have protein, that have fiber in it, because it'll keep them full longer. Whole carbs like fruits, veggies, giving them eggs. Contrary to what sometimes we read, eggs are a really good protein, a really good food for us. Nuts, lean meats, healthy grains. And so Young Living actually has some options for this. I think a wonderful way to start the day with a good antioxidant is Ningxia Red. So give them a shot of Ningxia Red. Even an ounce, a half an ounce, depending on, what their size is. There's not anything, we're not going to overdose on it. Our body could detox a little bit, but it's really just it's a superfood. So it's a whole body supplement. It's going to just give us some really good things. And it's great for eye health, energy levels, our immune system, all the things. So getting some of that into the kids. And if they don't enjoy the taste of it, which don't know a child personally that doesn't, but if your child happens to say, I don't really like that, then put it in with something else. Put it in their smoothie, put a little water in it, and it just tastes like juice. But of course, there's not that sugar load. And Ningxia Red has a low glycemic index and a low load. So even if blood sugar is an issue, this is something that can be used by most people, and it's just really good to help keep that stable. So there's some other things like einkorn flakes, the cereal, einkorn granola, einkorn pancake, and waffle mix. They're all made with ancient grains of einkorn and then oat bran. So the cereal is crispy and light, and it's sweetened with just a touch of coconut sugar. So it does have a little bit of a sweet taste, but it's got higher levels of protein. It's got trace minerals in it, low gluten levels, because it's not the hybridized modern wheat that it's created from. And it's really, really yummy. We had that on one of our orders almost every month. The granola is phenomenal. It's absolutely great. It can be used to put over a true yogurt, not a laden, like not a junky, gunky yogurt, but true yogurt that's got good, bacterias in it. Hot or cold cereal, so maybe some oatmeal, steel cut oats, things like that. It's also naturally sweetened, and it's got some wolfberries, cranberries, cacao nibs, no refined sugars, none of that kind of stuff. No high fructose corn syrup, and it's really yummy. Makes a really good snack all on its own. Put it in a little baggie or a little cup and send it in the lunchbox. Then, of course, the pancake waffle mix. Again, the ancient einkorn flour, so wholesome grains, very easy to use. Kids love it, and it's got 3 grams of protein and 2 grams of fiber in a serving, so it's really healthy for us. Then the einkorn crunch, which is something that's a little bit newer, is made from a part of the einkorn where they're growing the einkorn wheat at a couple of the different farms that Young Living has. So it's a really handy snack. It comes in single serving packages. Again, it's that ancient wheat, vegan friendly, non-GMO, no artificial flavors, colors, preservatives, none of that kind of stuff. So it's a good source of protein, fiber. It's got some vitamins and minerals in it. It's a great snack for kiddos and adults. And there's actually a variety pack that we can get now that are just the perfect size for tossing in a lunch bag or lunchbox or something, backpacks. There's a flavored sweet cinnamon that is a little bit sweet. So for the, to kind of satisfy that sweet tooth, there's a zesty salsa and then of the original ancient sea salt. So those are all really nice snacks and breakfast ideas for the kiddos. I also want to touch on before we move on from here, starting our morning, the kids' Mighty Bites and Mighty Zymes. So they're chewables. They're designed for kiddos. And the Mighty Bites contain a patented Origin Kid formula, and it's a nutrient-dense, food-based superfruit, plant, and vegetable complex. So it's not fillers. It's not the stuff that we would buy at a big box store. So there are no preservatives, no artificial colors, flavorings, none of that. And it includes a full range of vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and phytonutrients. And it's also formulated with a patented Origin FA, which is the best form of a natural folate. And we know that we don't want folic acid. We know that we want folate in our vitamins for adults or children. So it's going to deliver a whole food nutriment for the kiddos. And then Mighty Zymes, I'm a big believer in we all should be taking a food enzyme just because there's so many things, even when we try to eat really, really healthy, there's so many things that aren't healthy for us. And a food enzyme, it's not a ticket to go eat that stuff, but it does help the body in so many ways because it provides some support and assist in the digestion, especially those kiddos that are growing. But it helps to digest and assimilate our food. So enzymes are literally required for every function in our body. And without enzymes, we would not be able to breathe, swallow, drink, eat, or digest our food. So supplementing our body with a food enzyme when we eat a meal is just a huge help to the body. So they just chew it up when they start to eat. And if they don't remember until it's the end, then give it to them when they're finished eating. But it's all fine, but just get it into the body. And for the older kiddos who actually can swallow capsules, Allerzyme is a really good enzyme for children. It's a very, very small capsule. So that's another option. Now, if we're heading out the door, or maybe we're moving into the homeschool room, whatever that might look like for us, we just want to make sure that we've got everything that we need there. So let's talk about a few things that we could easily have on hand there. First thing up is Thieves hand sanitizer, which I have loved for years and years and years. So it comes in, you can see a big size, 7.6 ounce, and then a 1 ounce size. So of course the bigger one is great to have there in your homeschool room or in the classroom, if they're allowed to have that in the classroom. The little one can easily go in a purse, in a backpack, in a lunchbox. And at one point, I don't know if you guys can see in the little picture here, Young Living gave us these, and the Thieves hand sanitizer fits right in here. And these have this little hook where it can go right onto, I can get up here in my camera, it can hook right over a backpack, or school bag, whatever they might have. Now, I don't know if Young Living has these now, but you can grab some of these on Amazon. So you could totally do that. It makes it easy for them to get to. And I know I often keep one on a backpack when I'm traveling because it's just easy. I don't have to dig in my purse to get one out. And it's also fun. The kids love these kinds of things. But the hand sanitizer kills 99.9% germs and eliminates common harmful bacteria. So it's formulated with essential oils and plant-based ingredients. It actually is very moisturizing. I know often when we use a hand sanitizer, it dries our hands out so much, so much. But this is a moisturizer. It's got some aloe vera in it, and vegetable glycerin. So it's really nice. Again, no petrochemicals, no mineral oil, no parabens, none of the icky stuff, no synthetic fragrance, no dyes, no preservatives, none of that. And then the Thieves spray comes in a little 1 ounce bottle. That stuff is crazy amazing. I carry that in my purse everywhere I go. It's great to use in restrooms. It's great to use if you're on the fly, to wash your hands, to wash something that you drop on the ground. I spray my shoes with it. but it cleans literally all surfaces. So this is a good thing that you could keep, that they can keep in a backpack, um, school bag, gym bag, diaper bag, all the places. But it's safe to use everywhere. And honestly, we can spray it on things and we don't have to rinse it off. There are no harsh chemicals, no harmful fumes, none of that. We have a lot of people that use this, or like the thieves cleaner, in nurseries, in preschools, and things like that. They spray everything down and they love it because they don't have to come along, um, and then wash everything off after they've done that. So that makes it really easy. There are some oils that I think are really perfect for school, for our school environment, and conducive to learning. So there's some that might help create, like a peaceful, calming atmosphere. Some of them that help us to focus, keep us calm, all the different things. So here's some suggestions. Clarity, and that's got in it basil, rosemary, peppermint, and a few other oils. So it's got a really nice aroma. It's great to help with productivity. Now, we know that peppermint is traditionally known to increase mental accuracy, while rosemary has traditionally been known to amplify mental ability and boost alertness. So clarity can be like, I keep that on my desk. I personally, and I call that my got to get it done oil. Like, my brain loves clarity. It just gets things done. And then there's Genius. Genius is like such a powerful oil. It promotes feelings of grounding. It creates a sharp, fresh environment. It's excellent to use when children need to be recentered during homework time. Um, I want to just take 1 minute here. Does anybody use this? And this is one of the kids' oils. This is one of those oils that um, is one of the kids' sense oils. I'm not gonna do it. It'll take me too long, I think, but I was gonna write down everything that's in it. Go look up what's in Genius, and you're gonna be shocked and amazed. It's phenomenal. Everybody's gonna want to anoint your kids with it, anoint yourselves with it, anoint your partners with it, all the things. The other one is Brain Power. It's also a blend of essential oils that are high in sesquiterpenes. Sesquiterpenes are a component, a chemical constituent of the oils that are oxygenating to the body. So it includes things like sacred sandalwood, blue cypress, frankincense. It helps to create clarity and stability, making helping us to get it done, do the things that we need to do, study if we need to study, complete a project if we need to complete a project. But Brain Power is it's a great oil. And then vetiver. Vetiver is great to diffuse. It also is really great to put on, like, right at the base of the skull and on our temples. It is a really good one to help focus, and it's very uplifting, that type of thing. So because of the high levels of sesquiterpenes also that are in it, it's just really good focus, get it done oil. And then of course peppermint. We probably all know that peppermint is just really invigorating. We've seen some studies that talk about, how much just inhaling, smelling peppermint, whether it's right from the bottle or in our diffuser, can greatly increase our ability to focus and our ability to recall. The same thing with lemon. Some of the same studies have been done with lemon, and the same findings. So it's just, and citrus oils are happy oils. So diffusing or putting on um, citrus oils just lighten the mood, make us feel more, more at peace, happier. Now just remember, citrus oils can be photosensitive. So that means if we put them on and we're out in the sun, we could have more of a tendency to get more sun than what we want on those areas of the body. So I'm going to say this is a good one with the kids are going to be outside playing and things, rather than putting it on them, or unless you want to put it on their feet, you could do that. Put it in the diffuser, that type of thing. Lavender, we know, creates that peaceful, tranquil, calm environment. Um, and then, of course, there's Valor, and Valor comes in a roll-on as well, which is easy for the kiddos to use. So it creates or inspires confidence and courage, and just helps us to get in there and get it done. And if there's something we don't want to do, or maybe we've got a child that doesn't particularly want to go back to school. Maybe we anoint them with some valor and just help them to get, to give them a little more confidence and a little bit more courage. Nighttime is really, really important. um we've made it through the day, and now what do we do? What kind of habits do we create for the nighttime? What kind of consistency do we want to have there? So according to Rachel Dawkins, who is an MD with the Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospital, Rachel said sleep is an essential part of everyone's routine and an indispensable part of a healthy lifestyle. Studies have shown that kids who regularly get an adequate amount of sleep have improved attention, behavior, learning, memory, and overall mental and physical health. Not getting enough sleep can lead to high blood pressure, obesity, and even depression. So this is Rachel Dawkins at Johns Hopkins Children's Hospital. So they've done a lot of studies there. They deal with a lot of children, and they suggest that a child between the ages of 6 and 12 get 9 to 12 hours of sleep a night, and children from 13 to 18 should be getting 8 to 10 hours of sleep a night. We just heard some studies, and some new information was released at the convention that we had a couple of weeks ago at Young Living, about the importance of sleep, and how when we go into a deep sleep, it actually is like a detox to the brain. And if we never get to that point, the brain can never dump those toxins and all the thoughts and all the things that go on. So it's really, really interesting, how crucial sleep is to all of us. So establishing a consistent bedtime is really important. Stopping the use of electronic screen time and things like that an hour before bed, because the lights and things, that blue light is really, well, it's not good for us anyway. Maybe just reading a short book to them, or a story, that kind of thing, or letting them read to themselves. Definitely limiting caffeine. We really don't want a lot of caffeine anyway, and our kiddos really certainly don't need a lot of caffeine. Taking a warm bath, dimming the lights, and of course using the oils and supplements. So let's take a look at some supplements that can make this nighttime a more pleasant time, a more successful sleep time. So let's start with Kids Unwind. It's a little powder, comes in a little stick, you can see there. And it's a friendly magnesium supplement that helps promote a calm state. It reduces restlessness and eases occasional irritability and sleeplessness. Um, so it kind of works with the circadian rhythm of our body, that our clock, our internal clock. And so when we turn out the lights, when it gets dark, that's a signal to our brain that we need the melatonin, we need to sleep, the brain needs to shut down. All of those things need to happen. And that's what happens when we take Unwind at night and we turn off the lights. The really cool thing is, when we use Unwind in the morning, when it's bright and we're up and ready to go, it can help us to have more clarity, to helps to improve our focus, so that we can be more attentive. So it's a very versatile supplement, and people use it in a multitude of ways. Again, morning it does one thing, at nighttime it does another. And then Kids Mighty Pro also comes in a little sachet, so they're very, very handy to be able to pack when we're traveling, or to send it with the kids that are old enough to manage these things on their own. But it's a kid friendly, really great tasting, kind of tastes like a pixie stick without all the sugar. It's both a pre and probiotic. So we need both prebiotics and probiotics for a healthy level of gut flora, to keep that gut healthy. And it contains over 8 billion, B billion live cultures to support our digestive and immune health. If we have a healthy gut, we're much more likely to have a healthy immune system. Life 9 is a high potency probiotic that combines 17 billion live cultures from 9 beneficial bacteria strains, and helps promote healthy digestion, gut health, helps to maintain that normal intestinal flora that we need. So it is a capsule, and it's created. The capsule is a special capsule designed to survive the stomach acid and actually get into the intestines where we really, really need it. Now, I do know that I know some people have opened this and give it to the kids that way. I love probiotics before bed. When we're going to bed at night, more of an empty stomach and helping the body to cleanse and regenerate and do all the things that it does during the night. So, um, there's that. Rutavala is great. It's a real grounding oil blend, so it could be something that works really nicely at nighttime to just ground us, help that nervous system to, to just kind of slow down. It makes really for a peaceful environment. Tranquil, a complete different aroma, but does the same thing. So, these two, it's really a matter of preference of what do you prefer? What works best for you, for your child? And what aroma do they enjoy the most? Because they do a lot of the same things, even though they have different oils in them. And Sleepy Eyes is created to promote a serene atmosphere, environment. It helps us to unwind at the end of the day, making less fuss at bedtime. Now, this one is one of the Kids Sense lines, and it is pre-diluted. So, especially with those little bitty ones, if we wanted to put some of this on the bottom of our little ones, our little babies' feet, before we put them down for the night, then this would be a good one. It's already diluted, easy to do. Seedlings Calm is also, it's a very light, sweet, soothing aroma and great as well at bedtime. It's also pre-diluted. So it can be used that way as well without having to go find a carrier or mix it with the carrier. Also, for mamas with little bitty ones, these two are great to have in a diaper bag so that when we're out and about and baby gets tired and fussy and maybe just can't unwind because we're at church or we're, at a meeting or somewhere, these are good oils to pull out of the diaper bag and be able to use right on the spot. Peace and Calming is just an all-time favorite of so many of us, and it's a great addition to bedtime. I actually even really love it for those times when we're just real restless, when the brain just can't slow down and just be quiet. Lavender, we all know lavender is very calming to the senses. It's just a very soothing blend, and it's found in other things like Stress Away, Tranquil, and Rutavala. So it's in all of those oils also. Now, let's talk about if we do feel like we're dipping down below the wellness line, we're just not feeling quite like ourselves, then and unfortunately that's a part of life, right? That happens. Even if we're doing all the things, still sometimes our immune system, we get sick. Sometimes things get past our immune system. But that will happen less and less. The healthier we are, the more nutrient sufficient we are, and just a stronger our body is, the more foundational wellness we have, the less we're going to fall below that wellness line. Now, something that's really easy, and the kiddos usually really love if they're not feeling so good, and even doing this once a week or every other week is just a good prevention. But if somebody comes home and says, "Oh, we're not feeling well," this was something that we would do, and it's a detox bath. So I'm going to flip this over here so you can see that recipe. So basically, it's just a really good way to help restore and bring back the body, in toward homeostasis. So the Celtic salt, and I would either use Redmond or Celtic salt. Even some of the pink salt is not really, really healthy for us, but it helps to remove toxins from the body. It also has good levels of vitamins. I'm sorry, of minerals like magnesium, calcium, iodine, iron, manganese, potassium, sodium, things like that, and some zinc. So that's really good. Then baking soda is so calming to the skin. It also helps to detoxify the body. And then of course, adding in essential oils is a really powerful way just to kick that up. You do not have to use these particular oils. I would not use the hot oils that we talked about earlier. These are very calming and mild oils. But also, if there's some oils that your children really love, then go with that. But basically, you're mixing all of these together and putting them into the hot bath, and you're going to mix that around really well before your kiddos get into the bath. We don't drop oils on top of the bath water. They'll float and they will be very uncomfortable to us. So we're mixing all this together, mixing it into the bath um, before they ever get in. That's really the best way to do it. And then we want to soak for like 20 or 30 minutes. Now, after they've taken a soak, you know, um, some other things that we can do. Pro. These are things I would have on hand because when we need them, we need them. We don't have time to go find them, right? So Pro has some zinc and selenium in it, so it helps to support immune function. It's also got some other chelated minerals. It's got some melatonin in it, which helps us to sleep. So it's really a good one to take at nighttime, or if we are resting during the day, not something I would take in the morning before I went to school. But it also has a unique blend of reishi, maitake, and agaricus. I may not be saying that right. Blasi mushroom powders. So 3 different mushrooms, which we know these mushrooms are really great for the immune system. So these are chews. These are chewable tablets. So you can cut them in half if you think that it's more than you want to give your little one. You can cut them in quarters. If that's all fine. I do know that personally, I carry these with us when we travel, and if I don't feel quite right and I'm having a hard time sleeping, I'll take 1 or 2 of them. Inner Defense is a capsule, so they have to be able to swallow this in order to use it. But I do know some moms that have opened the capsules and put this in like Ningxia Red or something. Personally, I would just use oils in my Ningxia Red rather than the Inner Defense. But for the older kids, this is great because it really reinforces our defenses, and it creates a very unfriendly terrain for things like yeast and fungus. And it's great to support respiratory function. It's got some really potent oils in it. It's got oregano, thyme, and the thieves blend in it. So they are amazing for our immune system. And then the Emu gummies, which are not pictured on here, are a newer supplement, and they're just that, they're gummies. So they're a great way to support immune function. They're absolutely amazing for upper respiratory stuff. Now, and also for the gut, for gut integrity and function. So they're high in something that's called 1,3-beta glucan. So if you're familiar with that, that's really great for our immune system. There's no sugar added to them. They do taste good, but they're not laden with sugar. So that's a really good way to keep the immune system up. And that's something that you would take every day. Like you can literally give 1 of those or 2 of those to your kiddos every single day. For sure, when Frank and I travel, we take a couple of those every single day while we're traveling. It's just easy to do, keeps the immune system up. Mineral essence, we know having enough minerals is crucial to the body. So mineral essence is amazing for that. It doesn't taste good. So don't try to get your kids to just drink it. Put it in a smoothie, put it in Ningxia, put it in something else, but it doesn't taste good. I'm just telling you. But you can put it in a bath. Remember that detox bath we were talking about? You could add a few squirts of mineral essence in there. That would be really good for them. And you can also apply mineral essence to the body. So even on the bottom of the feet of little bitty ones, and we have done that before with our grandkids, put it on the bottom of their feet, and it's a nice, simple way to get some good minerals into the body. So just remember that we can put it on topically. The Thieves Chest Rub is great. It's pre-made. It's got a little hole, couple little slots in the end of it, so you literally don't even have to put it on your hands, moms, grandmas, dads. You can just roll it on their chest and on their back, and it's great. It's really, really great. So it makes it easy if you're out and about somewhere and you can pull it out of a bag and put it over them, put it on them, and you don't have to get it on your hands. Breathe Again roll on is phenomenal to help open up those airways, keep everything moving, help us to breathe effectively. Sniffles is the Kid Sense line for that type of thing, sinuses, throat, breathing, all of that. So that can go right on topically, right over the chest, on the back, the lungs, the bottom of the feet, all those places. Tummy Jize is also a kid scent line. So it is one of those that is already pre-diluted. So it's really easy to use, putting it on their tummies if anything is going on tummy-wise. Digize for the older kids, or I know adults that like Tummy Jize. They prefer the smell of it over Digize. But again, putting that on the tummy also can go in some Ningxia Red, in capsules, whatever, wherever your kiddos are, whatever ages they are, what works for them. We've already talked about thieves. Copaiba is another one that I love to have on hand. It's just so good to help to pair with some of these other things. It's a great boost to all of them. Anything else that you put it with, it's just a really, really good support and in the body. And then lemon is great antioxidant properties, great for the immune system, nice for the circulatory system. It's also got some cleansing properties. So that's a good one. And again, it's a good one to diffuse. We would be remiss if we didn't mention emotions before we wrap up here, because emotions have such a profound effect on our physical health and our mental well-being. So, school time can bring a whole range of emotions, everything from excitement to fear to uncertainty. Some kids are so excited they can barely contain themselves. Others are just not wanting to have any part of it. And sometimes as a parent or the caregiver, we're somewhere in between. Maybe we've got some apprehension. Maybe we're stressed out a little bit about it. There are a lot of unknowns for us as well. And, sending our little people off into the care of someone else. So just a lot of different things. But valor, we mentioned before, just so grounding and inspiring confidence and courage could be a really good one to put on in the mornings before the kiddos go out to school or before we go off to work after we've sent our children to school. Um, Pairing that with peace and calming, I think, is a phenomenal duo. Those two together really enhance each other. So it'd be literally a matter of maybe just right over the back of the neck and the top of the shoulders, could be on the bottom of the feet, could be around, behind the ears. Those two, put one on and then put the other. It doesn't matter which one goes first, but those two work really great synergistically together. A white angelica is like putting a shield of protection around us. It just helps to deflect negative energies. And just helps to promote positivity. So I would just, let the kids put on the bottom of their feet, on the top of their shoulders. I really love putting it on my head and just kind of going all around my body with it. We talked about stress away already. It's just a very calming, relaxing, grounding oil. I really love Believe because it helps us to believe we can do things. We can do what we need to do. We can be who we are created to be. It's just, faith and strength and all those things in a bottle. So I love, love, love using that. This liquid calm roller is really, really nice. I'll let you grab that real quick. It's 10 drops of lavender, 3 drops of valor, 3 drops stress away, 2 patchouli, and 2 vetiver. And you just put it in a 10 ml roller, and then you top it with carrier oil of your choice. So that can be whatever carrier you like. So I got a few more recipes for you, and if you want to grab a picture of them or whatever, but I'm going to move through those because we're running a little bit later than what I wanted to. So here's a bunch of diffuser recipes. I'm not going to read all of them. Just a lot of really good recipes if you want to, again, just take a screenshot maybe of those with your phone or something. Diffuser recipes are just great. And again, let your kids experiment. Let them choose some things that they like. I think it's great to give them some, let them be empowered to make some of those choices. And we've got some roller recipes. So I'd take a shot of those if you want. And you can increase the amount of oils, you can decrease the amount of oils, you make it work for your kiddos, what they like. Because if they like it, they'll use it. And then we've got some capsules. So these are going to be, obviously for the older kids. Maybe our teens and tweens, things like that. Maybe our kiddos that are going off to college, that kind of thing. So you can send them with some oils and some capsules, and they can make their own. And of course for us as well. And some Ningxia Red recipes. Ningxia is just such a powerful antioxidant nutrient that If we can figure out ways to get that into our kiddos' diets, this is just going to be very helpful for them. So, hoping that you can grab these. Okay, so I think when we started out, I was pretty sure nobody, at least no one said they were a guest. If you are a guest to someone, please get with whoever invited you and let them help you to get the best price. I'm going to flip back over to this in case you didn't get it. The best price to get your oils, the best way to do that. And for those of you that are already using Young Living, I hope that you're taking advantage of the loyalty rewards because you're going to get free products, you're going to get points. Um, how many of you are going to get that free diffuser this month? My goodness, some of the kids' oils in that diffuser. So that's just a great way to take advantage of some of those kinds of things. If you have any questions about anything at all, I'm going to stop my screen share. Then you are welcome to unmute yourself and ask a question.